Happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Unblocking Your Path to Wealth, going from chaos to calm with your finances. I'm so excited to be here with you on this Monday night. Tonight I have a very special guest with me. But before we get into it, we're going to start off the way we always do, which is what do you think is the biggest difference between those who build wealth and those who build debt? What do you think the difference between someone who earns income and someone who turns it into wealth? Well, we're going to get into that conversation today with our very special guest. And we're going to I'm going to show you how you can do those things for yourself. So, for those of you, if it's your first time tuning in, I'm excited to be your host. My name is Saran Baker. I am your guide on this incredible journey. Here on this podcast, we go from the deep into the spiritual, mental, and physical of building wealth and how to actually do it with finances. So, from time to time, and there'll be many times when I'm going to tell you some real financial tricks and some things that you can do. But I'm your guide on this journey, and we're here to just cultivate the abundance mindset and to build wealth for you and for generations to come. But it's not going to just be me here talking. I'm looking forward to you commenting in the chat, sending me a DM with any questions that you have, or commenting on YouTube. So don't be shy. Connect. Let us know you're here if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, because it's about community, and as we come together as women in this world, we can be able to create the life that we want to live with our finances. So I'm excited to get into this conversation. I'm going to actually add us to Instagram, so hopefully my Instagram family can see that we're live too. But before we get started, I want to tell you a little story. This is my girl Maya. And you might be able to relate to Maya, because my girl Maya was just minding her business the other day. She was getting ready to do her Thanksgiving shopping, and she found $100. Have you ever found some money in your coat pocket you forgot about and been so excited, like, ooh, what I'm going to do with this money? But Maya looked at the money a little bit differently this time. She said, you know what? I found this $100. Maybe I can go and get something from Amazon that I've been eyeing. She wanted another Christmas tree, right? Then she was like, nah, maybe I can go pay a bill that I was thinking about. Then she was like, nah. And she said, well, this is money I hadn't expected. So what if I don't spend this money and I put this money into a new platform or into a vehicle where I can save it and have it work for me for the long term? And she was like, that's it. I'm going to figure out how to use this money I wasn't expecting to get to make more money. And she was so excited about it that she said, Saran, can you help me find a way to now? Because in that example, she really felt like, wow, I didn't even think about this. Can you help me find more money that I can put aside so that I can grow it for the future? And she shifted in that moment from a mindset of spending to a mindset of trying to figure out how to be a wealth creator. And in that transition in her conversation, she now is on the path. And I know you're probably thinking, Fran, you're just talking about $100. That ain't no money. But it's not about how big the amount of money is when you start. It's about starting and creating the momentum or the compound effect or the snowball effect to have that money grow over time. And because she took the time to start now, she's going to be able to reap the benefits of that in the future. And today I'm excited to have our special guest, because the reason that Maya was able to make that shift is because she came to me and said, Saran, I know I can go spend this money and do something else, but I really have a dream and I really have a vision to do something else. And this is, and I'm not going to share all Maya's business, what her dream was, but she said, I want to be able to do X in the future. How can I get there with starting with these funds? Because I see this as an opportunity to open the door to get to my long term vision. And I said, great, let's get it done. And so today we have a very special guest with us. We have Miss Ariyal Lewis, and she's amazing. And that's why I call this Vision Over Everything, because guess what? She wrote a book about vision over everything. So this is gonna be about her today. But she has so much power. She has so much information, and she has such a powerful background that I said when I met her, I said I have to have you come on my podcast And have you talked to the women who I support and the women who are looking for inspiration, who are looking for a way to go from where they are to where they want to be? And so she is a visionary speaker. She is an attorney. She is a pre-published author because the book is coming out, and I think she's got the link for us. She's got over 12 years in the legal field, but she's most passionate about empowering women, and that's why we connected because I love to empower women. I get so much joy out of hearing from women who say what you said made a difference, and this is what I did with it. But she also earned a Juris Doctorate degree from Southern University Law Center. So all my friends down that's in Southern, you know she's from the South. And she graduated with honors. She didn't just, skate by like some of us. She's smart. But she has represented businesses, individuals, government, and all kinds of places in her career. But she's also the founder of I keep messing it up. Laria's Peak. You can correct me when you come on. But she uses her unique blend of professional expertise and personal resilience to inspire us, to clarify our vision, to align us with our goals, and to bring faith into action as we unlock our path to wealth. And so she has a dynamic speaking style, which I'm excited about. She has a lot of actionable insights, and she helps women go from chaos to calm, just like I do, creating lasting transformation in their lives. So I want to introduce to some and present to others Ariel. So let me bring you back, bring you on stage. Say hi to the people, Ariel.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. This is an amazing platform and a very important topic that just keeps a lot of people in bondage if they're not educated.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you because you bring and you laughed when you said it earlier. You said I'm an 80s baby, but you bring a different perspective, right? Because I'm a 70s baby. Don't tell anybody.
Wow, because I should tell.
It's my secret. Don't tell anybody. But I'm excited because I love to see the different generations of women coming together to empower and uplift one another so that we know that we can move forward with vision. We can move forward in our finances. We can move forward in our physical ability. We can move forward in our mental. We can move forward with our families. We can just do all the things and still get some rest because I'm about rest. But I'm excited to hear. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? I know I read your bio, but we all have a story that may be a little bit different than our official bio. So share a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you said, I've been an attorney for 12 years, and that's the biggest part of my story. And, like you said, I graduated honors from law school, but my story actually starts from graduating undergrad with a low GPA. And so I kind of found myself in a place of stagnation. And I'm like, I started counting myself out to apply to law school because of how I fell short in undergrad. But when I got clear on my vision, everything just started coming together. I locked in on my vision, and it's like it controlled me until I achieved everything and everything was fulfilled. And so that's why I'm so passionate, because I kind of went from like the bottom to the top.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I love that because I think the big thing that we miss in life sometimes is that we always think that we have to be the A student or we have to be that all the time, right? But we can go through stages. And so I think that that's very important. It's the same thing with our finances, right? We might have been not so good with our finances at one time, but we can become good at them later and take the steps. But we have to decide to do that. So I know you focus on vision. You got the book Vision Over Everything coming out. Can you give me a little teaser? Like, when's the book coming out? When can we get it? When can we pre-order? How do we get into the book? I love books, so you had me at book.
Awesome. Well, the tentative date is February 1st, and I hope to have it available for pre-order at some point in December. I'm trying to cut it down a little bit right now. I feel it's a little too long, so I'm trying to cut it down right now.
Okay, well, there's never too long on writing a picture, but the thing is that so let me ask this question because I deal with real concrete numbers, right? I
Mhm.
do financial coaching, I do financial different things with women, and I look at numbers all the time. And a lot of times, women just come to me and say, "Fix my finances." And I'm like, well, what is it that you want to do? Where do you see yourself? How do you see this working? What is your, what do you want to, what do you ultimately want this money to do? And their answer is, I just want more money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, well, you'll never have more money because you don't know what you want it for.
Right.
And they're thinking, well, no, I just want more money. And then I figure out what I want it for. And I'm like, that's not how it works. So let me ask you this question. So, how can women use a clear vision to transform their finances from chaos to calm and take charge of their wealth building journey? Because I think the vision conversation is so important because you got to know what we want to have the money for.
Oh, yeah. So a clear vision is the foundation of financial stability. And so once you get a clear vision, or like you say, financial calm, what does financial calm look like for them? And it means something different for everyone. Some people may want to invest in material things, or invest in assets, or save to a certain point, or leave a certain amount for their children. And so once you get clear on your vision, you can come up with intentional goals, achievable goals to achieve that financial goal. And so a lot of people think it's a big deal, but it really is. But if you say, okay, I'm going to pay off this bill, just take it one balance at a time. And before you know it, you've paid off those bills. Just like your friend Maya, that $100, she maybe could have paid that off on a credit card or something like that. And that's putting her one step ahead. So I think vision is very important and crucial when it comes to finances, because you have to stay focused to improve your situation.
Yeah. And I think I find that when I have clients who come to me and they are very clear about what they want, we get things done faster, we move in a different pace. Things seem to come to them that they weren't expecting because they knew what they wanted. And it's almost like they were drawn to them like a magnet. Like you said, you wanted to build a six-figure plus legacy for your family. And now we've gone through and they're able to eliminate their debt. But it's like things just start to snowball and start to go so fast. And I forgot his name, but he has the book, The Compound Effect, and he just talks about how one thing can lead to 100 things if you just do the one thing.
Exactly.
And it's the same with the finances. So I love that idea. Now, what do you feel like is a key mindset shift that women can make to unblock their path to wealth or to really get clearer on their vision?
Well, the number one mindset shift I feel is from scarcity to abundance, and
Mm-hmm.
then from fear to faith, and also I'm losing my words here, from asking for permission to claiming the power. So it's three very important mindset shifts. And so scarcity, a lot of people don't have because they don't believe that they have. They don't believe there's money out there. They don't believe they have enough time. They don't believe they have enough opportunities. But when you think with an abundance mindset, you expect it. And so you attract it. And so I believe if people operate in the spirit of abundance, which is what God wants us to have, an abundant life, then we will attract it. So you have to have an abundance mindset, I believe.
I love that. I read something earlier today. I was looking through some of my old notes about, I don't know what, this little memory thing, and I saved it, and it said, it is your birthright to be abundant.
Yes, yes,
And I run into so many people who, if I said that to them, all they would see is their bills or their
right.
problems or their challenges. And I think with what you said, going from scarcity to abundant mindset, it's a moment by moment decision. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that in talking to people, they don't know the first step to do that. And so I always say, well, start in being grateful for what you have.
Yes,
What
yes,
have you shown, even in the midst of everything that's going on? The world could be crumbling. What can you be grateful for in that moment?
yes,
And most people look at me and they're like, let's say they have a lot going on. Maybe they have a loved one passed away, maybe they lost their job, maybe something's going on with the house or the home that they live in, and there's just stuff, life happens, right? The
Right.
kid's school tuition is due. You don't know if the kid's going to be able to keep going to that school. You might have to change it. There's always something to be grateful for if we're looking for it, because we find whatever we're looking for. And so I think that really becomes the lesson in me going from scarcity to abundance. And I love that you said that, because I don't know that many of us really know how to do that. So how do you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance? Like say if you're having a challenge.
Well, with me, it's mostly with daily devotional. Like you say, it's in the moment. So if you don't keep feeding yourself positive energy, surrounding yourself with people who see money in a certain way, you're not going to think about things how you should if you don't have that positive energy flowing through you. So you have to have faith. That's the number one thing. That's why I also mentioned shifting from fear to faith, because when you have faith, you can more naturally move into the abundance mindset if you believe. You understand?
Mhm.
And so I think that's number one. And also association and just being a lifelong learner, because a lot of times when it comes to debt, it's so easy to get out of debt, even though it seems difficult. If you focus on it and write it all down, like you said, with those clients that you have, some of them know what they want. If you write it all down, it's going to come to life for you.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that. I've been working, and I'm intentional about my words, so I'm gonna scratch that. I have been purposely focusing on the feeling I want to have when I have achieved the goal. And
Yes.
so now I walk around, and someone mentioned to me, they're like, "Well, you got such a big smile," and I'm like, "Because in my mind, like it's already done, so I'm gonna just feel like I already have it, so that when I get it, I'm already in practice for feeling good."
Yes, and you're a visionary, because true visionaries visualization is not just in the mind's eye. It's like, how do I want to feel? What do I want to smell? Just everything. And if you're already experiencing it in the feeling, it's gonna attract. It's gonna come.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited about that. I actually read it in the book, and I said, I'm gonna just do it. What's the worst that can happen? I feel, I feel
Exactly.
like I want
Look.
to feel when it visually manifests. And I know, and I listen to a lot of different authors and speakers, and one of them, once said, he said, you're already a millionaire. The problem is you don't believe it. And then because you don't believe it, you don't know it. And because you don't know it, you don't act like it.
Exactly. And it's all about activation.
Yeah. So I love that. So what are the steps do we take to kind of, if someone is like, I'm in a bad place, I don't know how to set a vision. This all sounds great, Saran and Ariel. Y'all all positive and upbeat and happy on this live, but I need to figure out what's the first step I can take, because I want to figure out how to align my vision with my finances. How would you say someone can do that?
I believe aligning your vision with your finances is the key to unlocking your purpose, because the Bible says that your gift will make room for you and put you before a great man. So the first step is reflection. And so once you get into deep reflection and you take that time to meditate every day and wait for those downloads to come from up above, you will get closer to your purpose. And that is where your fortune is attached to. A lot of
Mhm.
people, we have influencers, we have social media. So a lot of people, like, okay, Saran Baker is a financial expert. Some people are inspired by you, but they're not called to be a financial expert. But rather than them reflect and become what God has called them to do, they start imitating Saran Baker. And so where a lot of people fall short is they don't reflect and take that time to meditate and to visualize, close their eyes to see what God has for them. And so
Mm,
get connected with your purpose, you will get connected with your fortune.
I like that. I like that. Get connected with your purpose, and you'll get connected with your fortune.
Hmm.
Look, put that in the book.
Okay.
Put that in the book.
Mhm.
Um, so how do you feel like faith and purpose play a role together in sustaining your finances?
Well, it kind of ties into the previous answer. It's the faith. If you believe it, you will achieve it. And I mean, if you write it down, and like I said, with the reflection, the introspection, and just digging deep. And a lot of people aren't honest with themselves. Some people
Mm,
are pretending to be on the level that they aspire to be, and so they're making decisions financially that don't align with their vision. You understand? And so once you get connected with your purpose, you're going to make financial decisions that align with your purpose, like investing in financial coaching or storytelling or things like that. So if you invest your money where it's going to be beneficial to your purpose, like developing your gifts, stirring up the gifts, that's how you're going to get closer to that wealth as it relates to your faith and your purpose.
yeah, I love that because I think we put our money where our faith is or what we believe in, right? And I
Mhm.
love to hit on something that is so important, and that is that a lot of times we're spending our money in places we don't necessarily believe in, but we're doing it because the Joneses are doing it, right? Or the whoever the next door people, or we're influenced by social media because we see that so many other people are doing it. So, well, if it worked for them, then why shouldn't I do it? And now we're all over the place.
Right.
And that's not even the direction that you were told to go in. And so, because you're off track from where you were told to go, things are confusing.
Right.
Things do become a little chaotic.
Yes.
Uh, and I think, and I know I was sharing with one of my coaching groups this morning that I was on, and I was sharing with them that I'm on a social media fast, even though I'm live on Instagram right now. But I'm just live on Instagram.
Hey, you
I'm
gotta
just
keep
live, and then I'll be off, right? Because I want to control what's going into my mind.
right.
I want to control what thoughts I'm having, and so the best way to take control of it is to control what's going in. And so as I control what's going in, I can refocus it to the path and the place that I want to go. But I'm purposely doing that because I'm building up the momentum I want to go into 2025 with. And
Yes.
so while it won't be forever, it's a couple of days now. Nobody will ever know that I'm on. Well, if you're watching this video, you'll know I'm on a social media fast. But you won't know because I scheduled all the posts I want y'all to see for the rest. It just is what it is. But it's knowing that you can do things to take control of yourself. And I want to take control of my finances too, because I know that I like to buy stuff. I love Christmas trees. It's the
Oh,
holiday season, and I probably have way more Christmas trees than any one person should be allowed to have. That's my thing, right? I don't really celebrate any other holiday like that, but when Christmas comes around, you're gonna best believe I got 4 or 5 different trees decorated in all different colors
I love it.
because it brings me joy. Because I also am a huge proponent of doing things that bring you joy with your finances, as long as they're not bringing you detriment.
Yes.
So I feel like, what do you think is some good advice for someone who's setting a vision? And I know for my ladies who are financial, a lot of us are saying, well, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I want through the rest of the year. And then in January, I'm going to get it together. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna lose 50 pounds. I'm gonna save all this money. I'm gonna get out of debt. This is the New Year's resolution for. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to get a new husband or whatever. And that's the plan. But it's not till January. So
I
they
was
may start.
now. Time is now, ladies, right now. Like I
Right.
would wait until January because you want to be in full stride when January comes. And really the true time to reset is the fall. You know, when you get new notebooks and things like that. I love new notebooks, things to write my ideas and my journals and everything. So I believe the time is now, not the new year. You should be in a full stride when the new year comes.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly with that. So let me ask you this question because I always like to ask my guests a personal question just so we can connect with you a little bit more. Can you tell me about or share with me maybe a personal time where you felt like maybe your finances were in chaos and you had to bring them into calm, and like what lessons did you learn during that time that you feel are valuable to share with our audience?
Well, early in my career, I had a job with the state, and obviously, that didn't pay a whole lot. And so I was able to have a private practice at the time where I was able to supplement my income. So my needs were being met, but I was purchasing and renovating a house too, all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so before I met my now husband, I started applying to jobs with higher paying salaries. And so as soon after I met the love of my life, I was granted this opportunity with a job that would have a 50% increase in my pay, and it was in an undesirable location. Okay. And so I prayed about it. I was like, God, you sent this man to me. If he's really the one, he'll be here when I'm done. And so I decided to take the job in a very undesirable location to get that 50% raise. And while I was there for those 18 months, I ended up having like a 70% increase in pay by the time I left that job. And so me and my husband ended up getting married. He proposed to me while I was out there, and
Oh,
so
nice.
the key takeaway for me is, oh, and one thing I missed, and I negotiated my salary because it was not a place that I wanted to be. And so one of the key takeaways is negotiate your worth. You have not because you ask not. That's the first thing. And because I didn't like the place, that's what gave me the confidence to negotiate the salary. And so once they gave me that money, I took that position, and my financial trajectory has changed so much. And it set me on a path where I would never have thought that I would be. And so another takeaway is that coming out of financial situations is all about increasing the income. Budget is important, but sometimes you're not making enough money to build wealth. So I recommend people taking jobs with higher salaries that other people don't want, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then also getting a second job or getting a side hustle, things like that. And sometimes short-term sacrifices bring about long-term gains. And so that's the lesson that I learned from that story, because I was making decent money, but I was juggling so many things. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Purchasing a home, renovating the home, furnishing the home, and all of that. So that is my personal story regarding that.
No, I love that story. There's so many lessons in it because you negotiated. How many of us as women we go in and we just take the offer, right? Because
Mhm.
nobody told us that to understand what our value is and what we bring to the table. And then you said, and I love that you negotiated because it's like I don't even want to go here, so I might as well just play around with the numbers.
Exactly.
Just go ahead and give me 300,000. Let's see what they
And people always say that in the book, to negotiate your salary, but we're so desperate to get the job that we're afraid to negotiate the salary. But ever since then, I always operate in negotiating my salary. Never be afraid, because they're not going to be afraid to ask you to do the work. So
they sure won't, or to add more work.
exactly, and not add no money. So
Right.
try to
And
get it.
oh, Darlene is saying thank you. You have brought so much insight in the YouTube comments. And thank you, Darlene, Dr. Darlene. And so the thing is, in that you learn that, and then you move in faith and said, "Hey, I got hubby, potential hubby right here. He gonna be here because he want to be with me." I like that.
And
And
a
you
lot
just
of
kept
times,
moving.
women fall short. Making putting these relationships first. And I loved my husband, I cared about him, but sometimes we make those decisions where we fall short in our success because we're trying to hold on to these romantic relationships. So I was proud of myself that it all turned out for the best.
Yeah, yeah. And I know women that it hadn't worked out for the best.
Hmm.
And it's a balancing act, and everybody's situation is different. You have to know what you're working with. Um, and I know that we have so many gifts and talents now, and that we're giving and we're doing the things that are being called upon us. So I already put this in the comments, but I want to make sure that my audience can connect with you, what do you feel like is the best way to connect with you and to really get into? And actually, we want to know where we want to get notified when the book drops too.
Okay.
So, um, I put some in the comments, but I want you to be able to verbally share like how to connect.
Yes, I would love for you to connect with me on Instagram at Layera_speaks and also on Facebook, Layera Speaks. And I have a freebie for you guys if you would like to clarify and elevate your vision. It's in the link in my bio on both Instagram and Facebook. And I also have a website, Layera Speaks, but we can definitely connect on Instagram and Facebook.
I love it. And I really love the work that you're doing. And so I'm excited to stay connected with you too. And please feel free to let me know how I can serve you and your audience and the things that you're doing. And I thought it was so important to have you when we met a couple of weeks ago at a speaking training, right? Where we
Yes,
were working on our craft.
yes,
Everybody thinks because someone is live on video that we don't work on our craft, but we do. We do go and put in the time and the energy to learn different things and to master the skills that we're doing. And before I go, I know my regular audience who normally comes live is like, when is Saran gonna give us our weekly affirmation? Because I forgot to say it at the beginning, but here's your weekly affirmation. I am confident in my vision and empowered in my decision making. I know which way to go. That is our weekly affirmation. Let me say it one more time. I am confident in my vision and empowered in my decision making. I know which way to go. So that is our weekly affirmation. I'm so excited to have you. I'd love to have you back, especially after the book drops in February, so we can talk about the concepts and the stuff you have in there. And I do want to ask this question: what do you feel like is the best way for someone to build a vision? Is it the vision board? Is it the journal? Is it a pinup board? Like, what's your favorite way to do it?
My favorite way is writing down the vision and speaking the vision. I believe you can speak things into existence and share it with people that you trust, and that will lock you into it because then you're having to be held accountable. But I believe vision boards are awesome as well, and visualization exercises. And it does work. Studies show that it does work, but I love to write my vision. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to close us out. Just hang tight for 1 second.
Thank you.
All right, this has been another exciting episode of Going from Chaos to Calm in Your Finances. We had an amazing guest today. She is super awesome. I would love for you to connect with her at Naira Speaks on Instagram and on Facebook and go to her page and be sure to go to visionovereverything.com where the book is coming out. Just remember that you are the gift, and sometimes money saved is just as good as money earned because we are wealth creators, not just spenders and savers, but we are wealth creators. And in order to get on that journey, we have to put ourselves in a place to go from transforming our income into wealth, and so that we can use it now, in the future, and to leave a legacy. So I'm so excited you're able to join us on this journey. Don't forget to come back next week, Monday at 8:30 p.m., where we will be live again, and I have a very special guest for you. But until then, peace, love, and light. Let's get your money right. Bye.